Which pain are you going to choose? Are you going to choose the pain of immediate gratification and busy work and then feel shitty at the end of the day because you know you're not doing the things you need to do that you're afraid to do or that you don't want to do? Or are you going to feel the pain of hard work, which is planning, prospecting, execute, anything that's going to build and develop your business and advance your business and lead to more sales and more revenue? Hey there, my name is Ian Koniak, and today I'm going to share the two types of pain that you will inevitably face in sales and how to overcome both types. And if you can deal with and understand and be aware of this pain and know how to address it, you can save yourself a lot of heartache in the future. So let's get started. Pain number one is the pain of regrets or shame. This is the pain that is most common for salespeople. And this is a result of not keeping your word to yourself. I'll give you an example. If you believe that you need to plan your day and inject prospecting into your day and inject deep work into your day, maybe developing a point of view or figuring out where to go into executive relationships and who you need to work with to advance your deals, right? And then you don't do any of those things, which are revenue generating activities, right? Specifically advancing and creating pipeline, anything that's advancing and creating pipeline. At the end of the day, you will feel regret or shame from not keeping your word to yourself. You will feel like you got distracted during the day. You will feel like busy work overtook you during the day, and you will bring that regret and shame home to you. And you will not be fully present when you're not working because you feel like you wasted the day. You're wasting time, okay? Regret and shame from wasting time, from not focusing on RGAs, from actually just getting distracted, and really not prioritizing what's important and not executing. This is the pain of feeling overwhelmed, not knowing where to start, not knowing what to do, not planning. And then at the end of the day, you feel like you got nothing done. And I promise you in sales, there is no worse feeling in the world than beating yourself up because you feel like you weren't productive and you wasted your day. And if that happens over and over and over again, that's what I call a living hell because you're just beating yourself up all day. That is the first pain. Now, where does confidence in sales comes from? Where does it come from? Okay? It comes from keeping your word to yourself day after day after day. When you know that you're going to set goals for the day and you're going to hit those goals, you're going to start to believe in yourself. You're going to start to set bigger goals. Okay? But if you don't keep your word to yourself, if you don't do the things you know you need to do, you will feel regret, shame, and you will feel like an imposter. You will feel like, what if I'm found out? I'm not really working as hard as I need to be, right? On average, sales reps are spending about 2 to 3 hours on RGAs a day. RGA is revenue generating activity, any activity that advances or creates pipeline, period. Prospecting or deal execution. 2 to 3 hours. What does that mean in the remaining 4, 5, 6 hours? It means they're getting distracted with busy work, with people pleasing, with perfectionism, with personal distractions that have nothing to do with work, scrolling Instagram in between calls. It's that pain of having all that white space on your calendar and wasting that white space because you didn't have a plan, okay? This pain is very, very common. So if you're relating to what I'm saying, you are not alone. And that's what I coach on. That's what I teach people. At the end of this video, I'll share how you can overcome this in great detail. But for now, let's just say this is the most common pain. I have almost 200 clients now, and I hear this more often than I don't. Now, the second kind of pain is the pain of exhaustion, okay? Or the pain of hard work. You could also call it the pain of burnout. This is the pain that comes when you actually work a full day every day on the right things. Okay, it's the pain that comes from actually sitting down and actually having to do the hard thing. I'll give you a couple examples, right? One is POV development. If you want to get in with large enterprises at the executive level, you better have a damn good point of view on how you can help them, because they're getting a million shit emails every day and a million crappy spam reach outs and interruptions. Unless you have a specific point of view for them or for their company, you're not getting a meeting. So that requires research, reading their 10K, looking online, listening to an interview, listening to a podcast, figuring out where and how you can help them. That is what many reps might consider very painful, because it's that planning. It's happening in your prefrontal cortex, right? This is dopamine central. This whole area, you wasted today because you're doing things that give you immediate gratification. Immediate gratification, or dopamine. This is a dopamine day. It's the pain of not doing the hard things because you did the easy things that are immediately gratified. This is the pain of actual true hard work. So point of view development would be one. Territory planning, account planning, okay? Account planning. Executive connections, connecting your execs to their execs and creating an email or a specific point of view that your execs can take to them, and putting yourself out there. This is prospecting, strategic prospecting. This is account planning. This is anything to do with, I'm sitting down and I have 1 or 2 meetings on the calendar and I have 6 or 7 hours of white space. How can I use the white space to actually run and execute and plan my business? It's planning and executing your plan. And when you do that and you do it consistently, it feels really hard, because in those moments, you're tempted to be distracted. You're tempted to go to the immediate gratification, to go to your email, to go to Slack, to go to, your phone. But it's really painful to sit down and be focused for an hour or 2 hours straight and do some deep work. That's what this pain is, okay? And I'll just give you one example of this in my own life. Yesterday, my business is scaling really well. We did 2.5 million last year. We're going to do over 3 this year. And I am putting the pieces in place to be able to scale my business. It is painful. I don't like doing that. I like coaching. I like making videos. I like going on LinkedIn and connecting with people. This deep work, what I had to do is I had to create an accounting plan to set up 1099s for all my affiliates that refer people in the program, because I have to legally report 1099s. That means I got to go collect their information. I got to work with the accountant. I got to create a process for paying my affiliates. That's not just PayPal, but a legal process with bank deposits and 1099 and tax reporting. Not fun. Second thing I had to do is I'm planning a mastermind event in Lake Arrowhead, and I got a room block. So I had to go through contracts and get the room block stuff and event planning. Not fun. Again, I'm planning for the future. Planning for the future and executing on that plan is really hard work, because it occurs in a different part of your brain that you're not getting the dopamine. It's not as rewarding. It's not as exciting. It's not as stimulating. And at the end of the day, if you've done a lot of deep work, it is exhausting and you feel irritable. And then you're also getting interrupted with all the inbound stuff that comes in throughout the day, which is pulling you off of the deep work, which then leads to more shame because you didn't do the deep work. Okay, so there's 2 types of pain right here. Okay, it is inevitable. The pain of planning and executing the hard things every day, which is mentally draining, or the pain of doing the easy thing, which leaves you feeling guilty and ashamed that you actually didn't do the things that are going to move the needle on your business and help you scale and grow your business in sales, or frankly, as an entrepreneur. So my point in this video is that pain is inevitable. The pain of hard work and deep work has delayed gratification. That means that you don't see the results right away. I'm not seeing the results right now of what I'm doing that's going to help me in a year from now, right? I'm not seeing results when I'm doing a business plan, or when I'm figuring out how I'm going to sell 3 million, or when I figure out my marketing strategy, or when I'm hiring people. All these things that I need to do, right, are for the future. It feels painful because you're not getting that immediate reward. Whereas if you do the things that give you the immediate reward, okay, you don't actually see the future benefit. So the question is, what are we supposed to be doing? And the answer, in case you haven't gotten already, is really obvious. You have to learn to live with pain number 2. the pain of delayed gratification, the pain of doing the hard things that you don't feel like doing every single day. You think I felt like setting up 1099s and working with an accountant and trying to figure out the affiliate payroll structure? Hell no. Okay, I did not feel like doing that. I don't feel like doing my quarterly plan for how am I going to hit the ground running and sell out the gold program. I don't feel like doing all these things, but you know what? I do them anyway. I block off my calendar and I do them because I know the pain of regret is way worse. And I don't want to feel guilty when I go home at night and say, I didn't get my shit done and now I'm going to take it out on my family. Okay, and that's what happens to me when I feel pain number one. When I feel pain number two, I'm just exhausted. And it's easy to get over the exhaustion. Okay, you do some deep breaths, you cook, you unwind, you relax. But that's a lot easier than feeling the guilt and shame of not having worked a full day in the right areas. So which pain are you going to choose? Are you going to choose the pain of immediate gratification and busy work and then feel shitty at the end of the day because you know you're not doing the things you need to do that you're afraid to do or that you don't want to do? Or are you going to feel the pain of hard work, which is planning, prospecting, execute, anything that's going to build and develop your business and advance your business and lead to more sales and more revenue, right? Which sounds great, but the planning process is not great. It's hard. And it requires taking all that white space and actually making sure you're productive during the day and holding yourself accountable and having the discipline to stay on task versus go to the immediate gratification. And so my message to you is really simple. It's supposed to suck. Hard work sucks. But you feel fulfilled at the end of the day when you have pain number two. You're exhausted from a hard day's work. And I genuinely feel that way most days. I used to live here when I was in sales. And until I learned to live here and embrace delayed gratification, embrace deep work, and embrace the suck and realize this is not stuff that is going to be fun. Planning is not fun. Prospecting is not fun. Business development's not fun. But you know what? That's actually how you make the big bucks in sales. And when I got to be an entrepreneur, it led to massive success very quickly because I had that skill developed. So whether you want to own your own business in the future or just want to crush it in sales, you need to get very comfortable with delaying gratification and executing the muscle of planning and prospecting and using that white space to create rather than consume. This here is creation. This here is consumption. You feel guilty because you didn't create, you just consumed, and therefore you wasted the day. Here you're exhausted from creating, which it drains your brain. So my point, again, is that it's not supposed to be fun. It's called hard work because it's hard. If it was easy, anybody could do it. It would not pay so well. So if you want to learn how to foster the muscles of delayed gratification, if you want to learn discipline, if you want to learn how to actually build mental toughness to do the things you don't feel like doing, watch the video right here. I put together a free training on how to make $500,000 to $1 million in years by developing discipline, by developing mindset. You just have to sign up and I'll give you every strategy I use to make over $700,000 a year, year after year after year at Salesforce. I will see you guys next week. Hope you have a great day.